What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about Deathlok aka Robocop and the Bionic Avengers. We are going to take a look at their T-Force, ISO 8, position of the team, what are the best game modes for them, and also a hidden feature on Deathlok. Should we even consider this hidden feature? It doesn't make any sense why they made this so convoluted, but it's something that we need to take into consideration in order to max out the potential of this character. So like always, if you like the information on this video, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take a look first, not at these, let's take a look first at my infographics. What the hell is going on? Okay, so let's take a look at my infographic. You can always find this on my Discord, link will be in the description, and there is the name of the team with info where you'll find this, and then there will be a discussion in case you have any questions. And here we have the T4 suggestions, here we have the ISO 8 suggestions. The green is for level 1 to level 3, and the blue is from level 3 green beyond into the future. Then we have the uniques that they need. The uniques are becoming more important than ever. Like in the past, this was one of the biggest bottlenecks, and it is the case once again. And we have also the Red Stars recommendations. Here we have the position of the team, and here we have the different game modes: Blitz, Arena, Raids, Cosmic Crucible, or Dark Dimension, Alliance Wars, Avengers Tower, and Cosmic Crucible is the last one. Okay, so once again, link it will be in the description for my Discord in case you want to do this, and you can share it with your friends, Facebook and so on. Okay, so let's take a look at the T-Force for this team, and we are going to start with Deathlok because this is a character that has that convoluted situation with a hidden feature for no reason. Why are they hiding these features? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so when we do the T4 on the basic, it doesn't say here. So when you do the T4 on the basic, it says here that if you crit, and if this character is full of energy, if this character is full of energy, and for some reason you use the basic, it doesn't even make any sense. The character is full of energy, and you are going to use the basic. What the fuck, bro? Doesn't make any sense. Are you crazy? Very, like 1% of the situations you have, it's favorable to use this. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, when you do this T4, you do single target damage, you repeat the single target damage 3 times, and if you crit, and if this character is full of energy, then it's going to give energy to other Bionic Avenger allies. So this is very, very convoluted. Now the hidden secret, the hidden feature is that when you do the T4, this also affects the ISO 8 attack. Is this something you should consider? Should you consider Deathlok striker? Now, when you use this guy as a striker, we are increasing the damage of the Blitz. Yes, that's true. But we are also losing all the crit damage that is guaranteed thanks to Iron Man's passive. So is this additional energy going to be useful if you have the striker ISO 8? Well, if you take a look at the probability of this happening, it's only 25%. So is that going to be good enough? No, it's not good enough. So they hide this feature from the kit, and then it's not even good, and it doesn't even make sense to use this. Why would you use this when you are, why would you use the basic when you are full of energy? Even if you are talking about other abilities, once again, it's only 25% chance, I guess, but you are losing all the other damage potential from the Raider ISO 8, which is one very good option for this character. So moving on, this is a completely nonsensical situation, and overall I don't like to recommend T4s that only do single target damage if the character is not a striker, and in this case it doesn't make too much sense to be a striker. Okay, so when we take a look at the special, when you do the T4, you are increasing the damage on all enemies, and we are also giving offense up for 2 turns for the entire team. On top of that, because we are applying bleeds, 2 bleeds, whenever you increase the abilities from level 6 to level 7, you are also increasing the multiplier of bleeds. This is another hidden feature, hidden mechanic that is not explained in the game, but it changes the multiplier of the bleed damage from 120% to 150%. We don't know if this is piercing damage or anything like that. No one understands exactly how the bleeds work, but at least we know that they have these multipliers and we benefit out of doing the T-Force on this ability. This is one of the best abilities. It has a decent cooldown, attacks all enemies, applies bleeds, offense up, so it's an overall game-changing ability for this team. Now, the ultimate, it has a little bigger cooldown, it's available on turn 2, but there is a trick that you can use in order to use this more often. We are going to talk about that in the future. And not only that, it increases the damage done on primary targets, secondary targets, and it also guarantees that you give energy to adjacent allies. This is why we are going to be able to do this, and I will explain why. So this is a decent T4, not as good as the other one, but it's still a very high priority. Finally, we have the passive. Now, these type of passives, in other situations, I usually recommend, sometimes not really. We have the same situation with Echo, with Magic, with Spider, Ghost Spider or whatever. And in some of those characters, it's better than others. In this specific case, because this is a chargeable ability, and because the damage is not piercing, I'm not going to recommend this T4. Now, if you have this character at like 5 yellow stars, 5 red stars or higher, then it's something that you should consider, but do this T4 after you have done all the other T4s on this team. It's nice to have, it's not a priority. Moving on, let's move on from the Robocop to the Hulkbuster. Okay, you can see right here. Here there are no hidden abilities, there are no hidden features, everything is on your face. Even that you still have to go to msf.gg to find out this. It's still on your face. The other one from Deathlok, it's not. I don't understand why they make that hidden feature. Anyway, let's continue. So with the Hulkbuster, when you do the T4, you are increasing his damage multiplier on single target damage. Now, I don't recommend this T4 unless you have him like very, very high. And because we are going to use Hulkbuster as a striker, because we want to activate all of these hidden abilities from the assist, counter and isolate attack, then it might make sense to increase this multiplier because it also increases this one and this one. So it's a nice to have as well. If you have him very, very big, it's going to make a difference. He has pretty much a decent amount of damage, so it's something that you should consider, but it's nowhere near a priority. Now, the special is also nice to have. It has a decent cooldown, it attacks multiple enemies, and it also gives barrier. So very, very important to increase your survivability. The low cooldown is definitely something good, but it's not a must-have T4 or anything like that. Can you still play without this T4? Yes, this is not a game-changing T4 by any means. The same goes for the ultimate. Instead of attacking primary target and adjacent targets, attacks all enemies for increased multiplier, and then it gives higher barrier. So it's, once again, it's nice to have. The cooldown is a lot bigger than the previous one, so it's not as valuable and it does pretty much the same thing. So I don't know, it's nice to have both of them, but it's not game-changing or a priority. Now, something that is a priority is the passive. The passive increases the HP of Hulkbuster and of the entire team, so because this affects all characters, it's going to be very, very good. And this also works outside of raids. This team is going to be designed for raids, to be used there, to be very successful there. But this feature is available outside of raids. So they might have some viability in Alliance Wars, also in Cosmic Crucible. So it's something that to take into consideration, especially because they are also a Horsemen team, or they are a Scourge team. That's the correct term. Okay, so that's Hulkbuster, some interesting T4s. Now we have V-Vision, and with V-Vision T4s, I don't like her basic. She's also going to be a striker because we want to activate all of these features, but we don't want the multiplier increase. It's just not good enough, so this is a T4 that you can definitely skip. In terms of the special, same thing, the multiplier of the ability is quite low, 210%, then it increases by 90%. Okay, it's not great, the ability is not good. We have a similar situation with Cloak and Dagger. The difference is that on Cloak special, he also applies defense down, so that increases the damage even more. It's not the case here. This T4 is not great at all, so you can definitely skip it. Now, the ultimate is a T4 that is completely game-changing. you go from flipping 2 negative effects into positive effects to flipping all negative effects into positive effects on the Bionic Avengers. You are also giving more damage to the enemy, so this is an extremely good T4. This is a must-have, very important for this team, and it works in all game modes, so that's even better. Okay, finally for V-Vision we have our passive, and once again this is another game-changing T4. We have more armor for V-Vision and more armor for the entire team. And then we have even more armor in raids. So this is a very good T4. Once again, in raids and outside of raids, very good to consider. And once again, Scourge team for the Death Horseman, which will be the last Horseman. Now we have Iron Man. The basic, it's okay. Nothing special. It attacks multiple targets, applies defense down. It's okay. If you have him with a very high red stars, it might make a difference. Overall, I don't think it's a priority by any means. Nice to have one day, but I don't recommend this T4. The special, it's a different story. This one is a must-have T4. This T4 is very good on Iron Man, not only with the Bionic Avengers, but also with the Wave 1 Avengers. With Hawkeye, Hulk, with Captain America, Black Widow, and with Thor, with a combination of those characters. This T4 is extremely good because it will extend all kinds of negative effects, stuns, blinds, slows, bleeds. It's a very good T4. Definitely recommend this one. The ultimate is not great. Definitely don't recommend. Single target damage, it does a big nuke, but it's not a piercing damage. And the cooldown, it's okay, 6 energy cooldown, definitely consider skipping this one. I don't like it. And finally for Iron Man, we have his passive. It increases the base crit chance of Iron Man, also the crit damage. So you always want to have this crit chance and crit damage, very important. And then in raids, it also increases the damage, the crit damage and the crit chance of the other Bionic Avengers. So this is going to increase the damage potential of this team by quite a lot. It's definitely a T4 that you must have in case you are using this team for raids, which you should. But remember that this will not activate outside of raids, so don't be surprised if your characters are not critting enough. Okay, moving on, we have the last character, we have Vision. Vision, finally Vision meta. Wow, that was like 3 years in the making. Okay, so when you do the T4, you are increasing the damage of the primary attack and the secondary attacks. It's okay, nothing special. It's like the Iron Man attack, you can definitely skip it. Now the special, it's a T4 that is questionable. It gives more energy to V-Vision, and when you give energy to V-Vision or to anyone, you are giving more turn meter to the team, you are giving more barrier, more healing, and so on. So it's a decent T4. It's above average, but it's not something you should rush for. It's not a priority, but it's second to the priority, so it's above nice to have. Then we have the ultimate, and the ultimate is one of those T4s I don't like to recommend because it's limited to a game mode. So outside of raids, this T4 just increases the damage by a little bit, and this is a second turn ability, so it's something that I usually don't like to recommend. But because we are going to use this team as our primary team for raids, then I'm going to recommend based on that. Otherwise, I would not recommend. And finally, we have the passive, and the passive applies immunity for this team in raids. So once again, it's limited by the game mode. And to be honest, I have not found any situations yet where it was required this ability. And even if it would be required this ability, we have V-Vision that can flip negative effects into positive effects. So it actually might be a nerf for you. For example, if the enemies apply slow to you, you don't want to have immunity because V-Vision is going to flip that slow into speed up. So why would you want immunity? So this is a very convoluted T4. I think this is a bait for people to spend on it, and then it never comes through. So therefore, I don't recommend this T4. It doesn't make sense, the situation. I have not found it any situation where it's useful, and it's only limited to raids. Okay, so those are all the T4s for the Bionic Avengers, why I recommend them, and which ones you should prioritize. Once again, you can find all of these on my infographic. And now we are going to talk about the isolate. So from what we have seen from the kits, we have a lot of crit chance and we have a lot of crit damage. If you have crit chance and crit damage, that means that we might benefit from having raiders. And because we are going to have a lot of vulnerabilities, we can use some strikers as well, especially because V-Vision and Hulkbuster, they have additional benefits whenever they do the striker isolate. So my recommendations are going to be Raider for Deathlok, Striker for Hulkbuster and V-Vision, and then once again Raider for Iron Man and for Vision. And the reason why I'm recommending Striker for, Raider for Vision, it's because he attacks multiple characters with his attacks, and this one, they actually do a lot of damage. Does this team require focus? Does this team require skirmishers? No. The focus of this team is very, very high. They have over 20,000 focus, and I don't remember which of the characters, but one of them gives even more focus to the entire team. So this is a very high focus team, and that's why we don't need any kind of skirmisher isolate. Maybe in the future, maybe in Doom 4 or beyond that, but right now there isn't any reason to have focus or skirmisher on each of these characters. Okay, so once again, Raider, Striker, Striker, Raider, Raider. Now, in terms of the position of the team, this is going to be very important. You need to have Vision, V-Vision, and this guy. So when you do his special, he does energy to adjacent targets, and that will allow Vision to use his ultimate turn 1. Yes, you can turn rewind the enemies with this ability turn 1 because of the position of the characters. This is going to be extremely important. He goes first, then goes Vision, then she goes, then he goes, and then they go. Based on this position, this is going to be the best team for most cases, especially in raids, because it allows you to go with Vision on ultimate with turn 1, turn rewind the enemies by 30%, and that's going to make a huge, really huge difference. So in my opinion, this is going to be the best position of this team. Also, Vision has additional dodges, so he can be next to the tank. He's the only one that has that feature. Okay, so this team is going to be amazing. It bleeds together or broken apart. This guy, Deathlok, he can solo on bleed, so it's up to you if you want to use him as a solo character to boost others, or if you want to use them together, or at least part of the team together in order to maximize your blitz wins. So very good in blitz. In arena, trash, of course, only the Horsemen dominate arena. In raids, they are going to be amazing. In Dark Dimension, there is some potential for Dark Dimension for these characters because there are not many tech characters, and you have to gear them up anyway for the Scourge event, so this might trickle down from one game mode into the other game modes. Then in terms of Alliance Wars, like I mentioned, the team has some potential of being used outside of raids because the buffs that they have on their passives work outside of raids. So that's going to be for War and also for Avengers Tower, and the same for Cosmic Crucible. So as you can see, 3 stars because there is some potential on this team, and I'm hoping that we can get some additional use out of them. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video, the Bionic Avengers, everything that you need to know about this team. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the information helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. Once again, you can find these infographics on my Discord, the link will be in the description. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later. Take care.